I'm very happy to be here today. I have 10 minutes just to very briefly summarise what we're trying to do on the Aran Islands. I think our perspective on it, where we live 10 miles out in the Atlantic Ocean, is that the energy revolution is coming our way, whether we like it or not, and it has to come our way. So rather than have it imposed upon us by outside capital corporations and governments and higher powers, we're going to take control of the process, and we're going to steer that process to our own benefit and to the benefit of our own community. That's the bottom line for us. And we start with what we're trying to do on the broader, we've been talking about this already this morning, the broader, more holistic picture, all the different aspects of this issue. And our broad perspective is that we on the Aran Islands, we're a very small community. We have 1,300 people on the 3 islands. But we are the protectors and the minders of a wonderful landscape, a wonderful heritage, a very rich culture, a beautiful language. And if we get pushed off living on the islands for whatever reason, all of that is going to be damaged or lost. So our primary motive in setting up our energy cooperative, Corchman Hwynniv Ilan Orin, is the people first and foremost, and how we can steer and manage this transition to carbon neutrality, to our own benefit and to our own sustainability, and to protect all these things that are valuable to us. So we have a 10-year plan, which we drew up 3 years ago. We're in year 3 of the 10-year plan. And it is first and foremost, and again, we've already discussed this morning, it's to make our homes and our other buildings energy efficient. That's the primary thing, reduce our use of energy. I'll come back to that in the 5th slide. We then want to remove the use of fossil fuels, oil, coal and gas, and replace it with electricity, where we do need to have energy, including transport. So we want to introduce the new technologies that are going to help us do that, like heat pumps on people's homes that draw the heat out of the environment around us and convert it into hot water and to heating the house. And we have various examples of that on the island already. PV, which is photovoltaic solar panels, which turn solar light into electricity. Storage, energy storage, and we include wind turbines in our plan as well. Remove our dependence on oil, coal and gas. We also have the aim that everything we do on the island in terms of energy generation, renewable energy generation, is owned by the community, either by individual families or by the whole community. And we have created vehicles for that to happen, including the cooperative, the energy cooperative. Then we also want not just to generate our own energy, but we want to sell it. And we want to first and foremost sell it back to ourselves, so that we can set the rate, we can set the price, and we can manage the whole thing, and through the managing of it, create jobs as well. So, and then through selling energy perhaps to others, if we can offer them a good rate, we hope to be able to attract in small appropriate businesses to the islands that would help us create sustainable employment. So we're going to use the clean energy that we're going to be generating to build up a local economy that's more sustainable into the future. So we want the islands to have small clean energy businesses in the future, and we also want the islands to become centres for clean energy research and development and testing. And through that then create local employment, more local employment than we have, and all year round rather than in the summer, which is the way it is at the moment through tourism. And also we want to be a centre for the education in this whole area of clean energy, so bring out groups to study the whole thing and to see it in action. And finally, we want to create a smart microgrid, because the islands are sort of way out in the Atlantic Ocean. We only have one electricity cable coming in, bringing electricity in. So it's very easy to think of ourselves as a sort of a micro Ireland, sort of a micro system, and we want to be able to put together a system where we will have all the computer technology necessary to manage a micro generation of energy and the redistribution of that back to the islanders who will consume it as well. So we'll become what's called now today prosumers, so both producers of energy and consumers, all in the one household. What have I done there? Next one. There we are. So when a local community wants to do something for itself in this area, you needn't just think of yourself as getting a share in a wind farm. Like in Denmark, they insist that the local people have an option for up to 20% share in any wind farm in the locality. That's just one way of benefiting, but we want to benefit in every possible way. So at the very centre of the graph there is greater net community benefit. So we want to benefit in every way possible, and then you can see all the different ways we can benefit. If you go down to the bottom right first, we want to benefit through local generation. We want to own our own sources of generation. This is Marxist thinking, if you want to look at it that way. If you go up above that, we want to be able to consume the energy that we generate ourselves. So we'll set our own prices, and we'll pay ourselves when we generate and when we buy. We want to be able to store the surplus energy, whatever way we can, maybe in electric car batteries, maybe in storage heating systems in our home, and maybe in other systems which aren't yet developed, and maybe we'll help to get those developed. We want consumers engaged at every level. Maybe they'll be shareholders in some of the initiatives that we take. They'll hopefully all be members of the cooperative anyway, so we'll be making decisions together as to what we do. And then local ownership. So there are 4 pillars then that we're trying to build on the islands, creating a local energy economy. And the 4 pillars are local generation, which is the most obvious one, local finance. So we will try and invest our own money back into the system as much as we can, so we benefit from any dividend. Local supply, so we're not alone generating it, but we're also supplying ourselves with what we generate and just exporting the surplus. And finally, smart demand management. And this is a whole new area where all our homes in the future, I think this is probably certain, all our homes in the future are going to have a little box up on the wall, which is a small computer. And it's going to measure the amount of energy you're using in your house. It's going to know what the price of energy is to buy in, and the computer is going to buy it in when it's cheap and not buy it in when it's expensive. So your freezer will be switching on and off. Your dishwasher and your clothes washer will be set to come on when the energy is cheap. And similarly, if your house is generating energy, which I imagine it will be, you'll be trying to sell the energy you generate at a time when it's expensive to buy, so you get the most return on it. So you might be storing your energy that you generate somewhere in your house until you get the right price, and then you'll sell it. And your little smart box on the wall is going to handle all of that. And then, of course, there'll be a much bigger smart box somewhere among the 3 islands to handle the broader coming in and going out of energy as it's generated and as it's sold. So there's the structure. Our co-op is for everybody on all 3 islands to become a member of. We're slowly recruiting those onto it. There's, as I said, 1,300 of a population. We have 79 members so far, but I'll show you in a minute another figure which is more impressive. And the idea is that we will handle the co-op, and out of the co-op will come all sorts of little commercial companies which will do specific things like own a turbine or create a storage facility or whatever it is, but we'll be at least majority owners of those companies as a co-op, and also the locals can buy shares in the companies and get dividends. So there are 500 homes between the 3 islands, and this is the figure I'd like to tell you. Of those 500 homes, we now have 353 homes that have signed up for a retrofit. So that's the vast majority of the homes on the island are now ready for retrofit. Of those, in the last 2 years, we've retrofitted 130 of them. We will do another nearly 100 of them this year. And we have done commercial buildings and community buildings as well. So you see, in 2015, we intend to do 80 homes, 5 commercial buildings, and 2 public buildings. We have lots of public meetings about these things, especially about where to put a turbine on the 3 islands. We've had 3 different meetings about that so far. And we're not going to put a turbine up on the islands until we have community support for the turbine and for where it goes. We've had a number of eco tours over the summer. We've had assigned heads of agreement for a sea salt factory, so that would be a factory that will use this clean energy that we generate. And Tipperary Energy Agency, Paul Kenny, has helped us do a feasibility study on locating a factory and a turbine on the island that would generate electricity for that factory. So new technologies introduced: earth-water heat pumps, solar photovoltaic panels, Dimplex quantum storage heaters. This is all the future. LED lighting, digital monitoring equipment, Wi-Fi automatic data gathering, and live computer display of data. That's all been installed, and we'll have to do more of it in the future. So, Garmil Mahagov.